It has emerged as a welcoming oasis in the city's heart, brimming with color, basking in light. A study in wildflowers, waterways, and fountains of natural beauty crafted into a walkable work of art. For nearly a century, Wichita has been a place where wings take flight. And over the last quarter of that century, it has built Botanica, a place where wings alight. It was 1982 when the members of the Wichita Area Garden Council first met with city officials to discuss their vision.
The Garden Council and the garden clubs of Wichita were looking for a place to have their meetings and their flower shows, and also to help introduce Wichita to all the different new plants and facets of gardening. So Botanica was born.
The Roman philosopher Cicero once said, "If you have a garden and a library, you have everything you need." In 1987, the planners of Botanica had everything they needed to open the gates on 4 distinct gardens. And, of course, a horticultural library.
The plan was to have a few flower beds around the existing building, and that was how Botanica was going to start. But the funding came in and we were able to have 4 gardens completed for the grand opening. So the Martha Perriott Terrace was the first one built. Then the Dwight Button Fountain area was put in. The Centennial Pavilions were funded. And then the Hannah Entry Garden wasn't funded at that time, but we built it just so there was a beautiful garden coming up to the building.
From that initial planting on a spare 9 acres, our community garden has grown quite handsomely, currently blanketing 17 acres with more than 4,000 plant species distributed through 27 breathtaking gardens.
You know, I really think my favorite part of the gardens overall is just strolling through. It's just the most peaceful, calm, and wonderful place to interact with nature and spend some really quiet time.
As you can tell by many of their given names, our city's most beautiful gardens have become the living monuments on which we have honored and commemorated each other, as well as fertile ground for the generosity of our corporate citizens. Through the work of volunteers and countless donations, Botanica's growth has been a mutually enriching work of love that is a credit to our whole community.
The volunteers and the donors are the lifeblood of Botanica. And without their support and their help, Botanica would not exist and grow like it is.
Imaginative landscaping has always enhanced the horticultural exhibits. But in 2011, the Downing Children's Garden opened and took Botanica's design craft to new heights.
Our vision was to create a place where families and children can explore, interact, and discover nature. Plants were selected for texture and for their fun names, but it's also an art gallery with original works of art from local artists. And there are many different spaces within this as well, like the Garvey Musical Maze, the Enchanted Glen, and of course the Cargill Farm.
Soon Botanica will literally move heaven and earth into an area just north of the Children's Garden, introducing a Chinese garden which will be composed of an enclosed earthly world and a mountainous heavenly one.
And it's called a scholarly garden, which will demonstrate a garden that would have existed in China during the Ming Dynasty, which will have an earthly formal garden along with a heavenly universal garden. It'll be an absolute beautiful, unique, and special place that will be connected to the event center. A lot of people in our community are discovering Botanica for the first time. It's a great place to come and a great place to enjoy nature and a great place to bring their families.
As you might expect of a living museum, Botanica lives a new life each year, the passage of which is marked by more than 50,000 tulips in the spring, 100,000 daffodils in the summer, 5,000 chrysanthemums in the fall, and 12,000 pansies in winter. While variety is the constant spice of life at Botanica, over the years, a variety of community events and activities have also enlivened the gardens.
We started out this spring with Tulips, Fairies, and Friends, and we're having a new event coming up called Blooms, Brews, and Bloody Marys. We'll have al fresco this summer, we'll have Botanica this fall, ending with our great light event called Illuminations. And it has expanded to be one of the greatest events in this region.
We have brought our children here to learn and explore, and brought many of them back again when 2 lives have grown to become 1. For 25 years, Wichita has stopped to smell the roses at Botanica. And with each visit, we still discover something new. With each new garden, each breathtaking surprise just around the bend, we realize once again that it's not just the flowers that grow at Botanica, it's also our sense of wonder.